like to call this meeting to order. This is a regular meeting of the Leonard Village Council. We're meeting today, November 14th, 2022. I want to welcome everybody. We had an interesting election. We're going to see some changes locally as well as on the state side of things. So with that, I'd like to ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then a brief invocation. Mrs. Slack would consider it? No? Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Look down on us, Lord. Make sure we do our jobs right for the people of the village and for our citizenship in our country as well. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, can we have a roll call for attendance of the village council?
Sure. President McDonald?
Here.
Trustee Kennedy? Here. Trustee Arundel?
Here.
Trustee Swack?
Here.
Trustee Hawkins?
Here. And we'll note for the record that both Clerk Lori Zelenak and Treasurer Judy Verth are present. The council received the minutes for our last regular meeting on October 10th, 2022. Are there any questions, changes, or corrections? If none, a motion to approve them would be in order.
I will make a motion to receive and file the minutes from the October 10th, 2022 meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes and receive and file them for October 10th of 2022. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes for October 10th, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay. Motion carries. Council has before it an agenda for this evening. I don't have any changes. Does anybody else? If not, a motion to approve the agenda would be in order.
I'd like to motion that we approve the agenda as stated.
We have a motion and a second for agenda approval. Any questions on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor of the motion to approve the agenda as presented, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, the agenda is adopted. First item after agenda is the treasurer's report. Are there any questions, changes, corrections? If none, a motion to receive and file it would be in order.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve and file the treasurer's report.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, council, there's a motion and a second on the floor to approve and file the treasurer's report. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, can we have a roll call, please, Lori?
Hawkins?
Yes.
Swack?
Yes.
Arundel?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
McDonald?
Yes. Okay, so the motion carried, the report's approved. Next item on our agenda is the accounts payable. Basically, we're paying the bills for September. Or, I'm sorry, October. Yeah, I got a little sideways there. Are there any questions? And the amounts are there on the agenda. Are there any questions or changes about the bills? If none, a motion to pay the bills would be in order.
I'd like to motion that we pay the bills under general $20,177.08, major $3,442.90, local 0, mill and park $260.
Second.
Mr. Kennedy, second. Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve or to pay the bills in the amount stated. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call to pay the bills?
Swack?
Yes.
Arundel.
Yes.
Kennedy.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Hawkins.
Yes.
Okay, so the motion carried. Okay, moving on from that item, our next agenda item is public comment. This is an opportunity for the public to address the village council. We ask that you be brief and to the point, and also be aware that if you are here for a matter that is on the agenda, you will have a time to address it at that time. Would anybody care to address the village council at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on then to new business. Well, I think we're all aware of the village council election results. Both John Hawkins and Trustee John Hawkins and Trustee Jennifer Swack handily were re-elected. But that does leave us, unfortunately, with a vacancy in the trustee position. So, I guess moving into number 2 on the, all right, are there any questions about the election results? If there aren't, we'll move on to the trustee vacancy. As of November 20th, Trustee Arundel, who did not run for re-election, will no longer be on the village council. So that results in a vacancy. So the village council has a set period of time in which to name a successor to that position without having to have the expense and the trouble of a special election for that. So I'd like to suggest to the council that we solicit letters of interest or resumes for the position from our residents. How does everybody feel about that? Maybe a motion to that effect would be in.
I'd like to motion that we solicit residents for my position as trustee.
Support.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to solicit letters of interest or resumes from interested residents for the position of village trustee. Are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, so that was approved. And before we move on to the next item, I'd like to take a moment to thank Trustee Arundel, even though she's still in office a little while longer. On behalf of the village council and the residents, Jennifer, we drafted a resolution, and it says, the Leonard Village Council does hereby declare and resolve, whereas the Village of Leonard and its residents desire to recognize and express appreciation to Trustee Jennifer Arundel for her citizenship and involvement in the Village of Leonard Council as a village trustee, and whereas the Village of Leonard and the residents wish to recognize her contributions of service to the village in support of village activities, including service on committees for which she volunteered her time and effort, and lend its support and encouragement to Mrs. Arundel upon her leaving office for her continued health, happiness, and future endeavors. Therefore be it resolved that the Village Council for the Village of Leonard is hereby recognizes and congratulates Village Trustee Jennifer Arundel for her efforts on the behalf of the residents of the Village of Leonard, and recognizes her many years as an active and involved citizen and representative of the Village of Leonard, and hereby declares and recognizes her service as a trustee for the accomplishments and service during her time to the Village of Leonard and its residents, and expresses a sincere thank you and best wishes for the future. So, with that, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Thank you.
Okay, so, there we go.
I will miss you all, but I'm not gone
Right.
completely. I'll still be here.
Okay, moving on. Item number 3 on new business is the purchase of a snow pusher for the village DPW. Earlier in the month, I had sent out, I think you each should have gotten an email with a description and a brochure. I did solicit a bid from the company that we have bought construction equipment from previously AIS. And I went online and tried to find competitive quotes for comparison purposes before I recommended a contractor or a purveyor of these items. I was able to find a couple. This unit is actually a heavier duty unit than what most residential buyers would use. So it doesn't have quite the number of companies that carry it, but were a couple. My Tractor Supply, which is an online, it's an online and it has a brick and mortar building, but I believe it's in Illinois or Iowa. Their range, depending on options, was about $4,500 to $5,899, which is basically what those would include the options that we would order for it, which it would be an 8-foot box. It would have a steel cutting edge. It would have a back drag with the cutting edge on it. And the skid runners on it are some type of heavy-duty poly style, so they don't mark up the roads or tear them up as bad when you're using them. So their cost for that was $5,899, and the quote we received from AIS for the same equipment is $5,225. We do have the money in our new equipment fund of our budget that would cover this for the DPW. And I'd like to recommend to the council that we purchase the item from AIS Construction Equipment. There may be a $150 delivery charge on there, which would push us up to $2,375, I believe, maximum. But I'm going to try and get that, see if we can finagle a free delivery if I can. So we'll see what happens.
This is for the tractor?
Yes, this is for the tractor. It's a quick attach, just like we have for the rest of our attachments.
That's going to be the next question.
Yeah.
John Deere, quick
Right,
attach,
right.
Just to make sure that there's no additional mounting.
Right. The 8-foot, we could have gotten a wider box, but quite frankly, with as tight as things are downtown, we're better off with something manageable. We do have some people that like to park even when they're not supposed to on the streets, and we will be able to do a pretty good job with this cleaning out. So that would be my recommendation if the council wishes to move forward with it.
I'd like to make a motion, we budget up to $5,375 for purchase of a snow pusher for the village DPW.
I'll second that.
That would be from AIS.
Okay, yes.
I guess you have up to $5,375 wherever you spend that.
Okay. Okay, well.
It's cheaper.
Well, I won't be able to spend it too many other places because everybody seems to be a little higher than that, so yeah. No, we have a motion to authorize up to $5,375 for the purchase of the AIS or competitive snow pusher. Is there any question on the motion? Is there a second? Oh, thank you, Jennifer. So is there any other questions the council may have or the residents? Primarily, this would be used on downtown and on maybe a little bit of shoulder work or like entry to streets and things like that. So, okay, well then I'll ask for a roll call vote to approve the purchase.
McDonald?
Yes.
Arundel?
Yes.
Swack?
Yes.
Kennedy?
Yes.
Hawkins?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. It might be a couple weeks before we get it, but hopefully it should be all set for that.
Hopefully we won't have snow before then.
Right. Okay, and then fourth item under new business is, and I'll have to defer to Lori and Judy, but my understanding is traditionally we have a public hearing in December for the village Community Development Block Grant Program. I have learned from reading some of the information that Oakland County provides that we'll probably get a $7,000 allocation because that's the lowest they've set this year. Is that your understanding? Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's what they said in the Zoom meeting that we had.
Okay.
Right.
And then
So-
I assume we still have to have a public hearing.
You know, I just need to find out if the December date will work, because I hope to have it finished by this week, the grant.
Okay.
I have until December 9th to submit it, but I'll have it done
Oh,
before
okay.
Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So,
Well, let's go ahead and set a
Okay.
public hearing for our block grant program under the assumption that we'll need to do it.
What's the public hearing for?
You have to give the public an opportunity to say how they feel or where they think the money should be spent.
Or to limit it as to what you can do with it?
Yeah, we are. We
So this is where we shared it in previous years?
Yes, this is where we decide whether we're going to put it in like a home improvement program or removing architectural barriers, which might be sidewalk, handicap access ramps, things like that. So for the village, there's not a lot of places we can spend the money.
and they've definitely made it harder. They've added a bunch of new parameters now, all these hoops you have to jump through, even if you want to have a tree cut down, where I think that it's going to come to the fact that we can't help residents cut down trees anymore.
Really, you think it's going to be that bad?
I do.
Wow.
I do. There's a whole environmental study. It's really
Oh.
gotten pretty heavy on that. Same thing with a lot of digging anything new up, like a sidewalk, where you may have to contact an archaeologist, anthropologist,
Wow.
to look at if you're even going to run a sidewalk. It's kind of crazy. So it's going to definitely make us a little bit more limited, a little bit more narrow about where we put those
Okay.
funds to help our low-income residents.
Right. Well, for our purposes tonight, we can make the decision to have the public hearing at our December regular meeting, during our meeting, and then by then, hopefully, we'll have all the information we need to move forward. Because I know in the past, it's been kind of a December deadline to get it submitted. So I'd appreciate a motion to the effect of establishing a public hearing for our Community Development Block Grant Program for the Village of Leonard, administered through Oakland County, and we would have that at our December regular meeting. I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, are there any questions on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor of setting the public hearing for our block grant program as stated, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carried. Alrighty, moving on to old business. It's been a real difficult process to try and utilize the planning grant authorization in the manner that we originally described, which was to have hopefully Roe or a contractor come in, do the basic site work and studies, and then compile it into a report or a planning document so that we could progress with it. I think we are real close with Roe to being able to do both of those things at the budget amount. But I would, kind of along the line of what Alex said, if I cannot get agreement with them monetarily, I'd like to have the freedom to talk to another company to see if we can do any better. And to that end, I have spoken with Oakland County Parks, and they have agreed to give us a 6-month extension in order to accomplish this, which takes a little heat off, but through the winter months, you're not going to get much done outside. We might get a survey, and then we might be able to do soil borings. I don't know if that'll leave how much closer that will get us to the completion. But we will get it done before the deadline, because they set the deadline at to be the final approval, or the original approval of our participation date, which was, I think, middle of October. So we still have several months to go before we'd have to worry about a year from that date being complete. So I'd ask for a motion authorizing the village president to work with Rowe or other suitable firm to achieve our goals for the Park and Recreation Planning Grant.
I will make a motion to allow them to authorize the village president to either work with Rowe or entertain another facility firm to accomplish the goals of the nature park planning.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And just so we're all clear, I won't be signing a contract, but I do want to have the ability to go outside of Rowe at this point and try and keep this thing moving within the budget that we've set up. So with that, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say no. Okay, thank you for that. DPW update, we're still working hard to get ready for winter. We're preparing the salt barn. We've got enough salt for maybe one good freezing rain or so around here. But this week, our DPW guy is going to be working in the village in between hunting. He's hunting locally this year, so he's not going to be gone. So he and I are planning on getting that done. So that's kind of all I have for that. For the president's report, I just want to say on my behalf, and I think the behalf of the council, that the results of the election regarding the recreational marijuana proposal, I think it reflected the work that we put in as a council to get the legal opinions, to get a sense of what the residents wanted, and I think the residents spoke pretty clearly about how they felt about having recreational marijuana in the village at this time and under these circumstances. And so hopefully we'll move forward with our normal legislative process, and we won't have to worry about that one for a little while anyways. I don't know that it'll go away, but the vote really reflected a high understanding, I think, of what the potential outcomes were. So that said, we did have one FOIA request, again related to marijuana, which was taken care of. We didn't receive any community development block grant applications. We did have just under ordinance enforcement, I did have the one inquiry about, there was an inquiry about hunting in the village. It didn't quite reach a complaint, but it was an inquiry of concern. And I think it's been addressed pretty handily at this point. Or I should say maybe satisfactorily with the property owners in question. So, and then I wanted to forewarn everybody that the village office will be closed for Thanksgiving, and I'd like to recommend it be closed during the week of Christmas that we normally do close. Lori is going to work with Judy to make sure that the regular days are covered as much as possible, but it has been my practice that when they have something that comes up that has a priority for them, I usually just have them post a notice on the door that they didn't make, that the office isn't open for whatever reason, and then people have been really good about either contacting me or just waiting until the office is back open. So with the council's understanding, I don't think we need a motion per se, but I want you to know that's kind of the plan for the holidays, okay?
Could you post it online on our website so people would know, like if, do you know what I mean, like offices are closed
Yeah.
during, and that way everybody, it just would alleviate any questions. If it's also on the
I
voicemail.
will work on that. I look at Alex because I'm hoping I'll get some help. I did do something on the website though. Yeah, I'll talk about it in, later in the, meeting, but, okay. And let's see. I think that's all I have for now. So I'll move on to the trustee committee reports. I don't think we have anything for the summer festival committee. Cable commission, anything, John? I don't think there's,
Yeah, we mainly went over the bills and everything last week,
okay.
and nothing too crazy.
And then the decorating committee, so far so good. We've got the lights up on the corners.
Yeah, we appreciate that. I have the lights to wrap around the poles
Okay,
too. See if those will work,
okay.
if you think.
If volunteer, well, you might want to, maybe you could use some of your skills, Jennifer, to find out from Kurt Strobel if he's going to be able to provide power, because he didn't last year. If you remember, I believe that one snowflake was not lit, even though it was up. And Don and I debated putting it up this year, but we thought, well, if we can get power, then we'll be all set.
Run a cord out there?
Well, a few years ago, we did run a cord over the canopy and down, because he still, and he wanted it removed. And I think that year he did somehow find a way to power the snowflake, but there is power at his old sign, but it's not in the form of a plug. I think it would.
It would have to be like hardwired.
Yeah, yeah. You know, sometimes even village presidents have to kind of turn a blind eye to stuff. So I think we could have it, but it's really up to him.
I will ask him.
If you don't mind.
Nope.
Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Sometimes when I do it, people are kind of, they get nervous. Like when you see, what's he gonna see, what's he gonna unsee, so
I understand.
it might be better.
I can ask him.
All right, and then, of course, we're gonna have our December 4th, well, that's actually up to you. Go ahead, we wanna give you a report?
I don't know, you're doing pretty good so far.
No.
So no, we're still on track for December 4th for the village tree lighting, from 4 to 7. I've told the vendors that they can come at 3 and they have an hour to set up. Some vendors are bringing, I believe, their own tents, and they have to bring their tables and things of that nature. So hopefully, we'll be setting them up right in the street
Okay.
in front of Roland Hall. We do have the band coming at 5, I believe, they're at 5.
Okay.
Santa's coming at 5. We'll have the tree lighting right at 5 o'clock. And then we do have the orchestra coming in, which is the middle school honors orchestra. And they'll be playing here inside. And then hopefully we'll have a good turnout with the gingerbread house contest. Have you got anything yet? So it's been posted out there on a variety of different Facebook groups and pages. It's been sent to the schools. So hopefully we'll get some interest like we did last year for the gingerbread house contest. And then we will give people tickets for them to vote as we did last year. So hopefully it'll be a nice turnout. We do have a food truck coming. I've already talked to Leonard's Market, and they know that they could have a table out here too if they wanted to do food. I think that they'll probably just keep everything inside. And then I thought we'd set up a couple tables in here if people do get food from the food truck that they can sit in here. Depending
Okay.
again how many gingerbread houses we get.
Sure.
Do they need to
Last
fill
year was
something
pretty
out
busy.
ahead of time
Yes,
for it? Okay.
yeah, there's a form.
And is that on our website, the form?
Is it on our website?
No.
I don't believe anybody asked for it to be on the website. Well, I don't have a copy of the form.
I sent it to all of you guys, did you not get it?
Did I get it?
I apologize, it's probably, I get buried sometimes in emails, and I probably.
I will send it out to you guys if you can get it out there on the website.
Yeah. If I can figure out how to put it on,
And
Alex, I'll do it. But if not, I'll give you
No.
send you a note or something, okay?
yeah, because there's also, what?
You did send it.
I did? Yeah, I thought I did, okay. Because there's a list there, what I want to post it out there is so people can actually see like what all the events are. So there's a page for that, and then there's a page for the gingerbread house contest.
Oh,
Oh,
I had it, I just didn't
he's
know
on top of it, all right.
Yeah, okay.
It's the same one as last year, I just changed the date
Okay.
and that's about it.
Yep.
And a couple other things, but yeah.
All right, very good.
So hopefully we'll get a turnout.
Oh, I'm sure we will. If Santa's there, I mean, you know,
We always get a turnout, and I think we have about, on average, 8 to 10 vendors coming.
well,
Oh, great, thank you.
competing with the festival committee. Their numbers are,
So we'll see.
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how it turns out. Hopefully everyone enjoys it for the night.
Yeah, well, great job, Jennifer, thank you.
It was a lot of fun last
You
year.
and the others. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, we
I
brought
was
people in
shocked.
from Oxford and they had a blast. They were like, this is the cutest little town. So you did a great job last year, so I'm sure this year
Well,
will
the
be even better.
gingerbread, the gingerbread thing went over great.
It
I mean,
did.
I
It was a lot of
I had
fun.
no expectations, but we really had a lot of submissions and
Mm-hmm.
various ages too, which made
Yeah.
it real interesting,
It was
yeah.
fun. I
It
enjoyed
was
it
fun.
last year. You know, people enjoyed coming here. and
They
more
do.
than-
I think it's just,
It's quaint dirt.
Yep.
It's got that quaint feeling.
yep.
Yep.
mhm.
So again, hopefully we pull it off again this year. A
Thank
little
you.
bit bigger, but still keeping it in.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the North Oakland Transportation Authority. Well, as you all know, the Oakland County Transportation Tax or proposal passed. So your tax bills will reflect a .95 additional mill next year. And at this point in time, there has been no formal agreement between NODA and the county on this, but I think NODA is leaning towards trusting that the county will fulfill its verbal agreements with NODA and fund us. So we probably won't levy that quarter-mill that was just approved for the future, for the next 5 years. So we probably, that will go away with assuming the county does give NODA the money to operate. So I guess if there's any sunshine in that deal, it's just that it's only gonna cost .775 of a mill rather than of the .95 after you deduct the NODA millage from your tax bill. And NODA's also in the process of buying a couple more vehicles, but that's pretty much the norm for them. Regarding the Planning Commission, I don't believe there's any business.
No, I talked to Leslie
Okay.
today, and she wanted to know if she could cancel it.
Okay,
I will make a motion to cancel the November planning commission meeting.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion and a second to cancel the regular December Planning Commission
Or
meeting. November, I'm sorry. Getting ahead of myself. Thank you. November. Okay, all in favor of the motion to cancel the regular meeting of the Planning Commission in November, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, please say no. Okay, the motion carried. Pollyant Trailway, The NOTA meeting is Thursday this week, and Pollyant Trailway meeting is Wednesday. They're preparing for winter. They just did a big cut on both sides of the trail, all the way from Boardman to Orion. And that's something they've tried to do for the last 2 or 3 years. It makes a big difference keeping the brush from growing in to where the traveled portion of the trail is. And they also bought a leaf blower, a tow behind type of blower, so they've cleaned the trail off for leaves and litter much better for after the fall cleanup. So it should be all set for that. And then Village Park, I don't think we have anything planned for the winter months, other than perhaps if we get the park plan foundation work done, there might be some activity. And then for the community development block grant, I did not see annual or the summary. Judy, they still haven't got the system working? Okay. All right. I have no other correspondence or anything. Does council have anything they want to bring to the attention of the council and the public?
I won't be here at the December meeting.
You won't be?
I'll be on a road trip.
Well, you're excused, yeah, Alex. No, that's great. Thanks for letting us know. Okay, that really doesn't leave us with anything to do but adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll send that.
What time is it?
7:37?
Okay, all in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, please say no. I think we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody, and